Really good moments from a 7-win campaign a year ago for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Back-to-back winning seasons, getting back on that track. Remember, consecutive bowl games after they went 7 years without going to one. Rob Orich did an amazing job in a very short period of time at San Diego State, coming in as the new DC, and a lot back for head coach Matt Rhule, who joins us now. Coach, great to have you with us. We saw some highlights there from a year. Again, I know you don't aspire to win 7 games, but you have to win. You had to get back to bowl games. You had to do some of that stuff that hadn't been done at Nebraska in a long period of time. So now the question becomes, how do you get more of those moments? How do you elevate it? How do you take the next step that I know you want to take?
I think even watching that, it kind of hit me. That's Ja'Cory Barney, who was a sophomore last year. That was Shavers, who's a sophomore. That's Isaiah, who was a sophomore. That was Luke, who was a junior. We were a young team last year, and we did some things that young teams do. We played really well at times. Sometimes we didn't play our best. And now they're all back, and they're a year older, and they're kind of weathering the storm of learning how to play while playing in the Big Ten. And so I'm unbelievably excited when I watch those guys and knowing that we'll have them all back. I
want to ask you a little bit about Rob Orich and what went into making that hire, what made him the right fit for you at D.C.
Yeah, as I looked at the league, and even when you think about your offense every day, there's so many quarters teams in the league, and originally we were kind of a 3-3-5, and to be a little bit of an outlier. And as we recruited, we kind of looked like a 4-down team. And so looking for a guy that did that, and I looked at the stats, and what he had done in a 1-year turnaround at Idaho, what he did at San Diego State was great, but really it was the tape. I went back and watched his film, and I watched it over. I don't need someone to convince me they're a good coach with the PowerPoint. I need someone to show me what his defense looks like, and the way they ran to the ball, the way they struck, the way they leveraged the ball, the way they, it's everything that I want and believe in. And watching him this spring, the coaches he's brought in, the coaches who stayed, really excited about being one of the best defenses again.
Dana Holgorsen on the second full year on offense. How would you describe the scheme?
Well, I think Dana's really embraced the need to be physical in the Big Ten. I think he'll be the first to say that to you. And so, we were a really good duo team last year, downhill running team. He also wants to be a great counter team, an outside zone team. So, we're going to run the football, but we have great wideouts. And, Dana loves to throw it too. And so I think the best thing about Coach Holgorsen, the thing I've learned is whether he calls a run or a pass, he expects it to work. He expects the guys to go make the play. And so I think you'll see us in a lot of 11 personnel, 12 personnel. He likes to get different guys on the field, and he calls it with no conscience. Sometimes I'm over there like, oh, Coach, but it's good for me. It's good for me to have a guy like that. And I trust him so much and respect him so much, and I think you're going to see what he can do this year.
Talking about running the ball, your quarterback, Anthony Calandria, that's one of the best parts of his game. How do you anticipate him fitting into that offensive system?
Well, I think he's the kind of quarterback that Dana wants and thrives with. When I was in the NFL and I watched college football, I'm a college football nut. I was always like, man, every other third down gets converted with a quarterback running. And in the games we've won, our quarterbacks have done that. I think Anthony, his athleticism, not just in the quarterback run game, but just being able to drop back, get outside the pocket, make an explosive throw, convert a third down. I think it opens everything up for both Coach Holgorsen and all the guys on offense.
One of the changes on your coaching staff is your offensive line coach, Jeep Wade, coming from Georgia Tech, where Haynes King really used his legs. What advantage does he bring to the offense, and could we possibly see some of the quarterback design runs?
Yeah, I think you'll see some of that stuff. And Jeep made a living at Georgia Tech running, the old counter tray play.
Yeah.
And even putting that in this spring and watching our defense try to handle it, it just presents so many challenges when you have a quarterback who can also pull the ball and run it. So you got a gap scheme going this way, you have a quarterback running this way, and they won a lot of games at Georgia Tech doing that, and Jeep's bringing that to our offense.
I don't think I've ever heard as many Big Ten coaches say this is a line of scrimmage league. Compare your line of scrimmage offensively and defensively from when you first got there.
This is the best we've had in those areas. And on the defensive line, we were 2 years ago on defense, we were great. We had Ty Robinson, Nash Hutmacher, great players. But just depth-wise on the D-line, we have a bunch of guys we feel like have developed. And it takes time sometimes, right? We have a Riley Van Poppel, entering his 4th year playing for us. I think he's going to be a great player. And we brought some great players in. Anthony Jones, Owen Stallmeyer, guys who play a lot of football other places with our own guys that we've kind of raised. And offensive line-wise, some of those, you know how it is, Coach. Some of those kids you recruit, 2-3 years later, they're ready to play.
Yeah.
And so this will be a big, stout, physical O-line that can both pass protect and run block.
Listening to you talk here and at your presser earlier, there's a lot of themes, and it seems like you're alluding to an identity. Just curious now, being established as the head football coach, how close is this team to what you want your identity to be?
Well, you got to go prove it on the field, I mean, I think like every team you have, you know the identity you want, but you have to be good enough to actually be able to do it versus another team, right? And you have to be able to execute it. But I'm a simple guy. Like, I want our team to go out and never beat themselves, play with great execution, be really physical, make explosive plays, and win the situational battle, right? To me, that's how you win. And so with the O-line we have, with the D-line we have, with the quarterback we have, with the playmakers outside on offense, this is who we want to be. We want to be able to run the football when we want, and we want to be able to make big plays in the passing game.
I haven't seen your new facility completely yet. Every time I've been there, it's almost been done. Is it less important nowadays to have a great facility? Is it more important to have the money for the NIL and et cetera?
Well, by far the most important thing is to have the money to have the best players, right? So that trumps everything. But I still think that kids don't want to make their decision based on money. Like, if the money's close or if the money's the same, they want to go to the place that they're happiest, where they feel like they're going to get developed the best. And what develops you more than a weight room? What develops you more than an elite training table? What develops you more than those things? So I think the football facility definitely matters. I mean, guys come into the portal, they're blown away. But you better have enough money to pay them as well.
It might be good timing, though, that now you've finished the facility. You don't have to put money in it as you go forward, where some facilities are outdated, and they might be struggling to do both.
Yeah, I think that's one of the great things about Nebraska, how much money our athletic department makes overall across all the different sports, how much money we bring in. We can pay the players without having to sacrifice life skills. We haven't sacrificed academics or nutrition. Like, we don't have to cut corners. And a lot of my other buddies at other places, they're having to make those decisions right now in this new world, which doesn't look like it's going backwards.
Right. How do you think you've grown and changed as a coach since taking this job?
I think the hardest thing for me to come to terms with is that it's a one-year deal now, right? I loved getting a young player in and watching them grow and going through the hard times, having the conversation, should I leave, should I transfer? No, stay here, and watching them, all of a sudden as a senior breakout. I love watching Emmett Johnson's story, watching Luke from walk-on to where he is now. But it's a one-year cycle, and I don't have 4 years to teach these lessons. I got to teach them all, whether it's football or life, I got to teach them all right away. And so I've had to really change my approach. I've had to cut some things out of my job responsibilities. In your first couple of years establishing a program, you're in administrative meetings, you're in scheduling meetings. I can't be in those anymore, and I've got great people doing those for me now. Our athletic department has great people. I've got to get the football right, and but it's been a transition for me.
So, Coach, what percentage of your roster do you think, and maybe you're speaking for other coaches as well, maybe, what percentage of your roster considers the portal on a yearly basis?
Well, I think everyone does. I mean, I think of coaches. I think every coach thinks about. I don't think they're thinking about the portal. I think people are calling them, and they're saying, "Hey, should I go in the portal or not?" And I tell our players that that's not a bad thing. Like, if you do a great job as a player, people are going to call you. If you do a great job as a coach, people are going to call you. Just be careful sacrificing happy. You know what I mean? Like, if you're happy somewhere, don't think you're going to be as happy or more happy somewhere else. But it's their right. Just like I was a head coach at Temple. I left to go to Baylor. I can't sit there and tell a kid, like, hey, but you don't leave. So I just try to have honest conversations with them. But I think if you're playing well, there's no doubt someone is calling you saying, hey, we'd love to have you too.
It's trending. The college football is trending towards the NFL. Is there anything? I know you've spoken about how much you grew from your experience in the NFL, but is there things that you're able to take away as it applies to the conversation?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think the discipline of valuation. You have to say to yourself, like, hey, how do we win? What positions matter most to us? What's the value on that position? What's the value on that player within this position? And then having the discipline to stick to that if you do have a budget. Some schools might not have that, so they don't have to worry. But, like, if you have a budget, if you have a cap, you have to make great decisions with that money. And then I think the second thing, it was when I worked with Joe Brady, and he'd come from Sean Payton, Joe was always like, what's the vision for this player? Back in the day, it was like, hey, he's a good player. Let's offer him a scholarship. Let's take him. Well, now that there's money attached and there's usually a couple commas in there somewhere, it's hey, what's his vision in year one? What's his vision in year two? And if you don't have a clear vision for how they're going to help you that year, you just can't have all your money on your roster sitting on the bench. They need to be out on that field.
Went from morning to afternoon practices. What was the logic there?
I always loved morning practices, and I got to Nebraska, and it's just a different environment. You know, we're out there in November, and the field's iced over. It's cold. You know, when you get in the afternoon, it can be a lot nicer. I started thinking about the travel and the impact of sleep. Like when I was playing in school, like we weren't up all night on our cell phones. Our kids are now. They're not sleeping a ton. So instead of having them get up at 6 to come in to be there for 7, like let's have them get to breakfast a little later. I mean, we're traveling to the East Coast. Twice last year, we went to the East Coast. We played an afternoon game and a night game, and then turned around, came back, and played a Friday game. Like, that's hard. That's hard on your body. So just talking to our sports science people, my great friend Joey McGuire is the head coach at Texas Tech, and so much of what he's done is what we did together at Baylor. But the one big change he made 2 years ago is he went to afternoon practices. So I don't think it's like this end-all, be-all. It's going to change everything. But I just hope our kids maybe sleep a little bit more. Maybe we go outside. It's in November. Maybe it's 50 instead of 35. But really the whole thing was just the sleep and the academic window and just being really focused when we get them.
You were talking about the schedule. I don't know if you've glanced at it. Yours is not particularly easy. We had the same conversation with David Braun a little while ago. They've got all 3 of the CFP teams from last year, as do you, out of the Big Ten. You have Indiana and Oregon back-to-back. What do you say to your players about the challenges of this slate?
Well, that's the same schedule I used to recruit this team. You know, I sat there with those kids and say, like, hey, come to Nebraska, man. We're going to play Ohio State. We're going to play Iowa. We're going to play DeMond Williams at Washington. We're going to play Oregon. We're going to play Indiana. Like, so I used that schedule to get kids to want to come there because I want guys who want to play the best. When I think about the schedule, all I think about is, are people looking at us saying, man, we got to play Nebraska? And so we have to be a team early in the year that people say we don't want to play them. And so it's like my golf game. You know, when I hit one in the rough, I always say to myself, this is a chance to make a hero shot. So great opponents should bring out your best. We have great opponents. It's our job to be as good.
It's a silly game, Coach, the golf
It
thing.
sure is.
You want to give me your line?
There's no reward for hustle in golf.
That's so true.
At this point, you know, 20 years into this thing.
Yeah, he just gives me a number and I know what to say.
Yeah, I know every joke DiNardo's got. The first time I heard it, I thought it was pretty funny.
That's right. It is good.
Yeah, now I'm at the point where, Coach, really appreciate you. As always, thanks a lot.
Coach.
Best of luck this year. Matt Rhule, head coach of the Huskers. We will hear from the Husker players. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about no longer having to show up at 6 o'clock in the morning at the facility. Seems like that would be a popular thing among the group. That and more. Rick Pizzo coming up with Nebraska, 3 of their stars next.